Good afternoon. This is Jeremy Dabrowski with Berkswintercast. Sunday afternoon, January 20th. Jumping right into things here with the time being a factor. Always have a lot to talk about. Looking at the current surface map, we got the northerly winds. Obviously, the Arctic front has come through. Cold air settling into the region, and it is brutal out there. Not too windy, as you can tell by the isobars here. They aren't too tightly packed together, but they're close enough, and there definitely is wind out there. No precipitation to speak of, obviously, except for the lake effect areas that are getting, the usual spots that get the precipitation. Change from yesterday, huge in regards to temperatures, 15 to 20 degree drop, over the past 24 hours, as advertised here with the Arctic front that was coming through. That was fully expected. Taking a look at the wind chills for the area. Very brutal. Single digits across all of Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania below zero. This is going to continue into tonight and into tomorrow morning. If anything, it's going to get even worse. Temperatures are going to be really low. And, speaking of tonight, here's a computer model output. Still showing that 10-degree line here, cutting through southeastern Pennsylvania. We're on the other side of that. So single-digit lows look probable tonight, probably around 8 degrees or so. With the winds, it will be brutal. Even the slightest wind is going to make that feel pretty nasty. And tomorrow will be cold as well. That high pressure settles in right over top of us. Not as cold back to the west, but definitely will moderate after Tuesday then, and something to keep an eye on as well. Looking at Tuesday, speaking of it specifically, here's a computer model flip-flop. Actually, it's a NAM and GFS valid the same time for 6Z on Wednesday, so very early in the morning on Wednesday. The NAM has the precipitation back over us, very light precipitation, zero line well to the south. So this will be some light snow activity. The GFS, on the other hand, is keeping the precipitation pretty much east of I-95 and mostly out to sea, although it is heavier. They're both cold enough for snow, so we will have to pay attention to that. So, that's something to look for on Tuesday. Maybe a light system coming through here with some snow showers or perhaps a light mix associated with a low tracking well to the north. So that's, it's not a big deal, but it is something to pay attention to. In regards to the long term, we're talking about some storms possibly, for next weekend. Looks like the models are starting to go all over the place. GFS zeroing in on the Thursday the 31st here, and that's pretty far out, 252 hours. This would be an ice storm with the low tracking over Philadelphia, and the 850 0-degree line well back. This is an interior snowstorm look to it. It has, in the days prior to that, something going on out to sea, so, this model really doesn't know what it's talking about right now. The Euro is one that was very consistent. It's not as consistent as it has been, but it has keyed in. It was always focusing on the Sunday to Tuesday period. It still got something. It's just a late storm, bombing off the coast here of New England. Really nothing much to speak of back in our area. But, it's still pretty far out. There's a lot of details to be worked out with that. But the Euro has definitely been much more consistent in showing a storm for that time frame. So that is something to pay attention to. Looking at the long term in regards to temperatures, here's the GFS showing days 6 through 10. Looks like we've got some moderating here. The cold that we're currently experiencing moderates and goes off the coast. Look at the cold rebuilding, though, over at Alaska, and you got your positive anomalies in central Canada. And what that leads to for the week following is, again, another shot of cold air coming back into the East Coast. You still got those mega positive anomalies up here in north central Canada, and another shot of cold forming in Alaska. So, definitely a cold pattern looks to persist here. The storms, they will come. Just need to give it some time. I know you snow lovers out there, just like me, are very impatient, but it will happen. And that's pretty much it for today's video. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, jer1188 at Verizon.net, and that's pretty much it, and we'll talk tomorrow.